Atlantis's ailerons and elevons have now been commanded. All of the roll, pitch, and yaw reaction control system thruster jets are still active as well. The first roll command has been initiated. And as expected with the first roll command, we have lost our communications with the vehicle as the antenna on the orbiter cannot see the tracking and data relay satellite with the vehicle in this orientation, and this was as expected. It should be about a 5-minute blackout period or loss of signal period with Atlantis. And the guidance is exactly as predicted. Atlantis tracking just to the northwest of the Hawaiian Islands.
Atlantis, Houston, we got you back a little early on an upper antenna.
Welcome back, Houston. Just starting to get light where we are now. Looks good.
Atlantis' altitude is 234,000 feet. Range to Edwards, 2,200 miles. Time to touchdown, 21 minutes. Atlantis' reaction control system roll jets have been deactivated now that enough air pressure is sensed on the vehicle that activity can be managed by the orbiter's flight control systems. All quiet here in Mission Control as the teams continue to watch their systems, all going very smoothly. Atlantis' altitude is 202,000 feet. Range to the landing site 1,080 miles. Time to touchdown 15 minutes 50 seconds. We're less than a minute away from the onboard guidance commanding the first roll reversal. This will be a left to right roll reversal. Continuing to dissipate energy that was generated during Atlantis' 8.5-minute climb to orbit 13 days ago. Atlantis' pitch jets have now been deactivated as they are no longer required. Enough of air pressure now sensed on the vehicle. The ailerons and elevons handling the Atlantis' descent back to Earth. Range to the landing site 870 miles. Altitude 189,000 feet. That's about 35 statute miles in altitude. Still traveling Mach 15, about 10,400 miles per hour. Approaching 13 minutes to the time that Atlantis will land, and also coming within about 30 seconds should be moving into the ground station at Dryden. A direct ground communications link from Atlantis to the ground as it approaches the Southern California coastline from the west. Altitude 173,000 feet, 32 miles in altitude, traveling 8,200 miles per hour. We should be picking up S-band communications link through Dryden here in about 20-25 seconds or so. All going very smoothly with Atlantis' return home. And Atlantis is at an altitude of 29 miles, which is 153,000 feet. Range to the landing site, 320 miles. Time to touchdown, 10.5 minutes.
Atlantis Houston, energy ground track and nav are go for Edwards 22, touchdown 2,600 feet at 2:05 Nam Nam.
Houston, we copy Nam Nam, 2,600 at 2:05. Sounds great. Houston, we're ready to take TACAN and GPS.
Atlantis, take TACANs, take GPS.
Atlantis' onboard guidance now being fed by Global Positioning System satellites as the orbiter approaches the Southern California coast. Range to the landing site 220 miles. Altitude 131,000 feet, sinking at a rate of 260 feet per second. Atlantis' velocity is 4,100 miles per hour. Time to touchdown, 9 minutes, 15 seconds. First views of Atlantis long-range cameras from the Edwards Air Force Base Facility Dryden Flight Research Center as Atlantis crosses the coastline approaching from the west. 140 miles from the landing site, altitude 107,000 feet, traveling 3,000 miles per hour, time to touchdown 8 minutes.
Atlantis, take air data.
Processing air data through air data probes on the nose of the orbiter, providing real-time atmospheric conditions to the onboard guidance system. Atlantis is now 6.5 minutes from landing at Edwards Air Force Base. Altitude 81,000 feet, traveling 1,700 miles per hour. Atlantis is falling at a rate of 260 feet per second. The guidance now navigating Atlantis toward the imaginary heading alignment circle. that will set up for the final approach to landing on runway 22, which is the northeast to southwest approach to the runway.
Atlantis on energy, approaching the hack. Update to your winds. They've picked up to 15, peak 21, right down the runway. Touchdown 2900 at 205, nominal shoot.
Copy, nominal shoot 2900 at 205.
That's a good readback.
That call updating Commander Scott Altman on the expected weather, winds at touchdown right down the runway as the orbiter approaches the heading alignment circle. About 4.5 minutes to landing. Atlantis is traveling 730 miles per hour, altitude 50,000 feet. Commander Scott Altman now flying Atlantis. Views as the crew sees it through the forward windows of the orbiter, through the heads-up display. The twin sonic booms heralding the arrival of Atlantis to the landing site. Time to touchdown 3 minutes. Altitude 34,000 feet. Traveling 560 miles per hour.
Atlantis, on at the 180.
Copy, Houston, on at the 180.
Pilot Greg Johnson now flying Atlantis as the orbiter is halfway around the heading alignment circle to line up with runway 22, the northeast to southwest approach end of runway 2204. And Commander Scott Altman now flying Atlantis the rest of the way. Time to touchdown 2 minutes.
Atlantis, on at the 90.
Houston, Atlantis copies. On at the 90.
Altitude 12,000 feet.
Houston, Atlantis. Field in sight at 10,000 feet.
Copy, field in sight.
$7,000 feet. 4,000 feet. (2,000 feet). Commander Scott Altman beginning to flare out the vehicle, pitch the nose up as he approaches runway 22 from the northeast. 300 feet, landing gear down. Main gear touchdown. Nose gear touchdown. Space Shuttle Atlantis is rolling out on runway 22 at Edwards Air Force Base, completing 197 orbits of the Earth while traveling 5,276,000 miles. This landing marks the 53rd shuttle mission to end at Edwards Air Force Base. Atlantis spent 7 days servicing the Hubble Space Telescope that included 5 spacewalks, totaling a record 37 hours. Atlantis has completed its 30th mission and the 126th in the history of the Space Shuttle program. The Hubble Space Telescope's final servicing mission is complete, but its mission of discovery is just beginning.
Houston, Atlantis, wheel stop, Edwards, 22.
Welcome home, Atlantis. Congratulations on a very successful mission, giving Hubble a new set of eyes that will continue to expand our knowledge of the universe.
Thank you, Houston. It was a thrill from start to finish. We've had a great ride. It took a whole team across the country to pull it off. Our hats are off to you all. Thank you so much.
There are no post-landing deltas. We'll meet you on page 5-3 of the entry checklist.